AEW and their Dynamite show, the first episode of their weekly show. Now I'm going to say this. I'm not going to be like everybody else. I'm not going to be one or the other. I'm not going to be some guys out there that are going crazy and pretty much wetting their pants because they love AEW so much. And I'm not going to be one that's going to bash it either. I'm going to give you a fair, honest review of this show. This is what you're going to get. Let's make it very clear before I get to this review. Was this show bad? No. Was it perfect? No. Was it better than Raw's premiere? Yes. I'm sorry, it was. If anybody can't stand to hear that, you're getting a fair view. Raw's premiere may have a few things in it, but it was not superior to this show. It just wasn't. It's catered to a different crowd, and it was different, but honestly, even though it is catered to a different type of crowd, it was still superior. It just was. There were things that were on Raw that made no sense whatsoever and should never been done. So when you see Dynamite, you will see a better show. But let's make it very honest here. This was a very heavy wrestling show. There's no character development much. There's no storylines much. This was just straight out wrestling. So in this respect, compared to Raw, this was better. Now, the opening with Cody and Sammy, I'm not going to try the name of that. I'm not going to try his name. I tried already. It's one of the reasons why I had to redo this video next to my battery being dead. This was a good match. There was a little bit of story between, since I haven't seen all the stuff that AEW was putting, that was like their interim little snippets of what Dynamite was going to be, other than the pay-per-views they had, I didn't watch them. I wasn't able to watch all of that. I just couldn't do it. There was too much I'm doing. So, seeing that Sammy was spotted as a really special up-and-coming wrestler compared to Cody, who's already established. And you know who Sammy reminds me of? If I'm wrong, you guys tell me below. He reminds me of a very early Austin Aries. And how brash he is, how arrogant he is, how great potential he is, how great he is. He just makes me feel like he's an early Austin Aries. And I'm surprised Austin Aries has not signed with AEW, or if he is, he hasn't been talked about yet. But if he isn't, he should be signed, because I would like to see Sammy versus Austin Aries, like a younger version of Austin. And he has to look at this guy and he says, I see myself in you. And he can't stand it and he wants to smash his face. That's what I would like to see. But the match was good. At one point, you have Brandy being insulted, and then Sammy getting his ass kicked for a certain amount of time, goes outside the ring, and once Cody decides to do a suicide dive, you got Sammy pulling Brandy in front of him to save his butt from Cody. Cody smashes into a Brandy. Cody gets pretty pissed. They continue the match, and eventually Cody wins. But here's one of the glaring problems that AEW, I believe, is going to have in the very beginning. They're on TNT. They're not like USA with WWE. And essentially, I'm sure they don't have total control of the commercials. At least not now. This was the first show, and they got to probably figure out how they're going to make the commercials work. It was good they had split screen, but let's be honest. Who wanted to see Chris Jericho destroy a Cody on split screen? Right when he begins, you get the commercials. That just destroyed it for me. And I'm not saying this brought the show down completely. It did not. But if AEW is going to have this problem with commercials, where yes, they have to do split screen, there's no problem with it. I would have thought they would talk to the people who run the commercials. Look, we have a special segment right here. You cannot make us cut the commercial. Please. Hold off until at least we get part of this done. Then if you got to do commercial, or we do no split screen, wait an extra minute or two. We didn't get that. And I felt it brought it down for me. Yes, you get to see the beatdown, but wouldn't it have been better to see I couldn't catch the shot of Chris Jericho grabbing a camera from someone in the crowd and started taking pictures of Cody. That's what should have happened when there was a live feed without split screen. That's the way I felt about it. Now, you had Brian Cutler versus MJF, my favorite. I've seen this guy in reality of wrestling. I saw him also in Major League Wrestling. I really like him. He is a great heel. You know who he reminds me of? Eli Drake. This is a young 23-year-old Eli Drake, early in his career. Not like he's perfect. Nope. But he reminds me of Eli. Eli, he's not over the hill. He's not out of it. And I'm hoping he'll also go to All Elite Wrestling if he is in WWE. He just has that feel of somebody that can just, I'm Eli Drake and nobody can beat me because I'm the best. I can always bring the gravy train. Hell yeah. Or, yeah. That is Eli Drake. And that's what MJF gives me. It was a good match. MJF did the classic heel. And he won. This is the one thing I did like about this show. The heels didn't act like chicken shit completely. And they were badasses to a certain extent. I did enjoy that. That was very important to see in this show compared to WWE, particularly in Raw, where the heels don't always get over and they look like pieces of garbage. Now, YouTubers were allowed to be on the show. Rick Van Vogue, I believe his name is that, Vogt. He looks like he's doing interviews now, which is very nice to see. Then there's a couple of other YouTubers I have seen before, but I don't remember the names. They're in my face. I just don't remember them offhand, but it is nice to see that they were there. This is something WWE doesn't understand. Bring in very famous YouTubers. People recognize YouTube. It's what people see. They don't watch any general cable anymore. It's all either Netflix, Redbox, Hulu, and the main thing is YouTube. So it's good to see them. Then you have I can't remember what they're called. What are they called? I can't remember the names. They're called something. TX2, I believe they were beginning to mess with them. Then the Private Party came out, which I wish they had something to say. I wish they had said something to TK2, I believe that's what they're called. I could be wrong about their names. I just don't know. But I did want to see Private Party talk, and these guys, if they are called TK2, them talk a little bit. I just felt like that could have been a good opportunity to use YouTubers in that situation. The faction that I really do like the most. And I'm not saying I don't like Be the Elite, but SCU with Kazarian, Kaz, and Scorpio Sky. And this is what I was waiting for. You saw a little vid pack of these three and Scorpio Sky talking. And I like Scorpio Sky. He's got a good personality, at least from what I can tell from that one vid pack. I need to see more vid packs to see if Scorpio Sky is as great as I believe he could be. If he's green or if he's very seasoned. I just don't know. But Kazarian and Chris, these guys, they know what they're doing. They just do. They just ooze what they used to be. And that was Bad Influence in TNA, baby. If you don't know them, look them up when they were Bad Influence. I love their music. I saved their music. I wish I could use... I just had a thought, but I'm going to leave it at that. Just that when it comes down to it, I like the segment with them with the Lucha Brothers. And essentially when the fight starts, now you're going to be seeing a tag team feud. More than what we normally see. That's just me. We got Pac versus Hangman. You know why I botched Hangman Page's name? I don't hate Hangman Page, sorry. I don't hate him. But I feel like he's missing something. It's just me. I don't know what it is. I don't know. He seems like he could talk well. He goes in the ring well. But I don't know. Maybe it's his charisma that I'm missing. Maybe that might be it. The match was very good. There was a little botchy from... Who was the one that was botchy? I believe Hangman Page botched once. and Pac botched once. But in the end, the submission that completely and totally made him pass out, the same one that he used with Kenny Omega, he's done here. And to be honest, I believe that was the wisest thing to do. Pac, I don't care, I'm just going to call him Pac, who has never been used properly by the WWE, who is treated like dirt. And admittedly, when Excalibur, and I gotta say this about the commentary team, I don't recognize the other guy. He seemed to work with JR when he was on WCW. I didn't watch a lot of it, so I didn't see him much. He doesn't feel like he meshes well. Maybe because it's the first time he's doing anything with JR and they need to get in the groove of things. I really believe that Excalibur and having JR might have been just the best bet. Just those two. Having the color commentator of Excalibur working with JR, who can bring an excitement because he doesn't like to know the outcome of the matches, really would be better than having this extra guy there. Nothing against him. Maybe he just needs to grow on me, and maybe he just needs to mesh a little bit back with JR and Excalibur, but I just feel like it needs to be more. Now, when it comes to Pac, as I was saying before, what Excalibur said about people just overlooking him, even though he was a 2-year champion, makes sense going in this situation. I think that eventually Pac will be champion eventually. Don't believe this year. Believe easily next year. But seeing that he's slowly building himself up and destroying his opponents, he's a heel. Flat out, he's not raking eyes like MJF. He's not doing whatever else he can do. He just straight up beats your ass like a Kurt Angle. When Kurt was just booked like a machine. That is how Pac should be booked, and that's good to see it here. Now, Nia Rose versus Rio. The 22-year-old who's been wrestling for 13 years since she's been 9. Whew. A 9-year-old deciding she wanted to become a wrestler, became a wrestler. Now at 22 years old, she's a 13-year veteran. Oh, she's single. But anyway, was this a good match? It was. They built up Rio very well. But I'm going to be honest here. I do not believe Rio should be the first women's champion. I do believe Nia Rose should have been the first women's champion. Not because I'm for transgender equality. This is not about it. Nia's a wrestler. I don't care if she's a man. I don't care if she's a woman. I don't care if she's gay, lesbian, or transgender. I don't give a damn what she is. I don't give a damn. But I believe they had a monster other than Awesome Kong. And they should have used her in this situation. And the most monstrous woman should be championed in the outright. Particularly, you got Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She was at commentary. And she's not a very big woman. Nia is almost 200 pounds. And you got, 220, 230 pounds of an Awesome Kong. You needed 2 freaking big women in this division. And instead of giving the championship to the first of those 2 women, you do not. I do not agree with that. They need to have a challenger that's going to make things very difficult. Yes, Rio is a good wrestler. She is. And this will give a good spotlight to a Japanese wrestler, which a lot of times they don't get in any type of promotion. They don't. But in this situation, I just do not believe that she should have won it now. I really believe Nia should have won. Honestly, I just believe it. That's just the way it goes. Now, when it was all over, what is the guy? Michael, I'm just going to call him Michael because I can't pronounce his last name. He came into the ring, he's Japanese, and he wanted to congratulate Rio. And Nia Rose destroyed him. She powerbombed his ass. Then she was about to powerbomb Rio. And it was Kenny Omega that had to stop her. Now, the question is going to be, is Nia going to be facing Michael? I'm hoping not. Because we already got Impact Wrestling doing intergender. I don't believe this is necessary now for her to be dealing with a man. You can wait a while. A year from now, maybe a year and a half, if she's going to go up against men, fine, just not now. This is not the time for that. Leave it where it needs to be left. She's in the women's division. Do not switch her to the men just because she's transgender and she's about the right size to mess with a man. Don't. Please, AEW. Please, Cody, don't be stupid. Final. Kenny Omega with the Bucks. With Y2J, with Santana Ortiz. I was wondering if they're going to be allowed to keep LAX, which they're not. That's exclusive to Impact Wrestling, which is understandable. Well, Impact Wrestling and Conan, so it's understandable. This match, I was not sure if I'm going to enjoy this match because it's a 6-man tag. This is what we get in Impact Wrestling a lot of times. This is what we get in WWE. Definitely so many times it's stupid. I was hoping to do something different, and they did. It was a 6-man tag, and the faces were getting a bit over until Moxley shows up and basically beats the crap out of Kenny Omega, and he takes him out of the equation. You see him in the back with these scenes I'm giving in front of my face. And then Kenny gets driven into a glass, and here you see me right now, glass coffee table, and basically wipes him out. I'm cool with that. And the thing that makes me happy, I gotta prepare myself because I'm surprised at this because we don't normally see this from a major promotion. The heels win. Clean-ish. Basically, they win cleanish, which is fine. Jericho gives the, I forgot his name of his finisher. But the point, the Jonas effect, there you go. When it comes down to it, I'm perfectly fine with it. And now next to Santana, next to Ortiz, now Sammy, the one that Cody had just faced, he came into the fold. Once Cody came out to try and help out the Elite, he tried to help out. He gets nailed. Then Dustin comes out. He gets nailed by freaking Jack Swagger. We the people. Jack, what is the guy's name? I always forget. Well, not Jack Swagger. His name is Jack Hager. Sorry. Jack Hager. I'm pronouncing his name wrong. You know I'm going to pronounce his name wrong. But it's good to see him there. Now, admittedly, the powerbomb he did sucked. It looked bad. That powerbomb looked bad. It did not look very good on his part. Now, that could be due to the fact that he's doing a lot of MMA and he's not wrestling as much. So he really is sloppy due to the fact he's not wrestling much. So I'm going to give it one time of a slide because the effect was very good. The crowd was great throughout the night. It was great. But the minute they heard and saw that he kicked, well, not heard, when they saw that Dustin was nailed by Jack and they started chanting, "We the people," I could see they got gold. Because the WWE had a chance with him and they blew it. They messed it up. Now, I know he did weed in a car and got himself in trouble, but that's not the point. The point is the WWE just stopped his push. And they shouldn't have stopped the push because he had it. So let's see what All Elite Wrestling is going to do with him. Now, all around, was this a good show? Yes. But let's be honest. Camera work was a bit botchy. That's truthful. Pyro was good. I liked the Titantron. The Titantron compared to the WWE Look, if you compare the Titantrons, I think All Elite Wrestling's is better. I just don't like the WWE's one for Raw. It's not that good. Now, I don't know about NXT. I mean, I do remember it's not bad. I like it. And I don't know about SmackDown. Hopefully not going to use the same set as Raw, and they're not supposed to. But let's be honest here. This was a good show. They had some problems with the camera. Audio, when it came to them doing promos with the mic, had a lot of reverberation. That's an issue. They could correct that. And in the end, it was a good show. I really recommend you watching it. I'm not going to say it was the greatest show since sliced bread, but I am going to tell you that this was a good show. You will like it way better than Raw's premiere. You will. But this is just my point of view. Oh, last thing, I am going to be working on the intro to this new series with AEW. So you're going to have to wait a little bit. I need a couple of weeks to get some good images so I can make the intro. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!